Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first annual RISK Talk Show. Today we'll be interviewing some of the most coolest and famous inspirations of all time. We'll be asking them some probing questions as part of our Mastermind Council. This might just be one of the most thrilling shows we've undertaken. So, without further ado, let's just do it. He's known for his many failed marriages and his capacity for bearing risk. This billionaire oil baron was the richest of his day, Mr. J. Paul Getty. Mr. Getty? Mr. Getty? You there, old-timer? Ring, 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 ring. Excuse me. Hello? What's this, Mr. Getty can't come today? Why? What? I know he's dead, but... Oh, I see. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid Mr. Getty can't come today. And since we don't give any refunds, we'll need someone to replace him. But who can ever match up with such a cool dude? Come on, think. Think. I got it. He's had a dream to go to space since he was 9 years old. And he's taken many risks to be one of the first Canadian spacemen, Mr. Chris Hadfield. Please, take a seat, Mr. Hadfield. Wait, did you hear that word? No, not Canadian. Risk. In today's society, it's not enough to do just what needs to be done. We need to take whatever risk necessary to move above and beyond. But people are generally not happy with taking chances. And that's my concern today. So with the help of Mr. Hadfield here, let's get into our very own spaceships and talk about the essence of risk-taking. Next, let's begin countdown and understand why we don't take risks. And finally, let's lift off and look for some solutions. Risk-taking is complex. In R.M. Trimpops, The Psychology of Risk-Taking Behavior, which asks if the race car rider who rides 250 kilometers an hour is a risk-taker, or is the beginner who rides 25 kilometers through a downtown area at rush hour. Is a daring chess player more of a risk-taker than a cautious motorcyclist? But no matter who the person is or where they came from, everyone has a similar definition about taking chances. And that is leaving your comfort zone. So that brings me to my first question, Mr. Hadfield. What would you say holds us back from taking risks? Or could you give us an instance when you took a risk? Yes, I can. I remember my first spacewalk. I was standing at the airlock, and I was both excited and scared at the same time. But then I remembered a saying at the space business: there is no problem so bad that you can't make it worse. There is no problem so bad that you can't make it worse. Risk is the same principle. Whatever risk you take can't be worse than it already is. But there's only one problem. The whole aspect of taking risks isn't appealing to most people. Why? Simply because of what stops them from taking action. Fear. Dr. Ben Carson, in his book, Take the Risk, states that people don't take risks because they don't know what's going to happen. People are afraid of the unknown. But that's true. Fear of the unknown is what stops us from taking risks. I mean, that's what it was designed to do. I mean, self-preservation has its purpose, doesn't it? People associate the word risk with not getting what they want. But really, it's how you choose to take action that matters. In Miles Hodges' Living by Faith, which states that we're living in a dualistic society that on one hand hides out a fear of the unknown, and on the other, simply takes risks for the sake of taking risks, causing often meaningless and deleterious outcomes. For instance, crossing a 4-lane highway, blindfolded in the dark and saying, I'll take whatever happens now like a man. Bad risk. Peacefully fighting for equality through boycotts and public preaching. I think MLK Jr. would tell you that that is a wonderful risk. Here's where I stop. There's no Getty or Hatfield, just me. In the year of 2012, a long time ago, I used to have a really good friend. But what made him so special? He was born without his right hand. At the time, it never occurred to me how hard it must have been for him. Getting that slight look of surprise when you meet him for the first time. All I could think of was how he'd look up to me. But really, I looked up to him. Fastest kid in class, Akshay. Lead violinist in the orchestra, Akshay. Arm wrestling champion, Akshay. He took many chances to be where he is today. If it weren't for him, I probably wouldn't be here sharing his story. Really, his right hand is risk. If we look from within to how we feel, our gut feeling, we oftentimes will find a courage that one of my mentors likes to call a rage of the heart. With that courage, that rage of the heart, we can conquer almost any fear and therefore handle most any risk. There are those who advise us to embrace the moment, connect with our own inner wisdom, and pursue our passion. We've already talked about what stops us from taking risks. French philosopher René Descartes once famously said, "Cogito ergo sum," which of course translates from Latin to mean, I don't know, please go away. I may have used a machine translator for that one, but I believe what Descartes was trying to say was, I think, therefore I am. And if we look at it carefully, we'll find that we're acting when we're thinking. And we exist only through action. So get out there and take the risks necessary to fulfill your dreams. So the annual RISK talk show is over. I want to thank Mr. Hatfield for coming in such a short notice. But before we leave, remember, don't let your dreams be dreams. Just do it.